Now take a listen to this.
I want you to remember that as I continue on in this video. We were promised these mass deportations by the Trump administration, and what we're watching happen now, in my opinion, and I think it's playing out this way to prove it, to prove my opinion right, that is, we're watching the Trump administration slowly retreat on that promise. They're slowly surrendering the immigration reform policies that they promised us.
Well. That was January 27th of this year, almost 5 months ago. And you know what some of the comments were under that stream when it's saved as a video on this channel? Here's a comment from a guy who's clearly some sort of conservative. And listen, we get into conspiracies on this channel, but they're always based in actual facts, actual CIA reports that have been put out, made public, actual patterns that you can recognize, like Israeli foreign influence in our government. You know, everything that you can track. I cover that here all of the time. We're not afraid to call all of that out. It's all in your face at this point, and you have to be a 75 IQ retard to not see that. However, somehow, when you talk about politics on the internet, you always manage to attract the QAnon delusional, boomer slop eating, nonsensical, kind of copium deluded conservatives like this guy, Dziagi. He's been a regular when it comes to criticizing my criticism of Trump. He commented, "Not even close." He was pissed at my analysis back then when I said Trump is giving up on mass deportations and slowly beginning to surrender on the idea of immigration reform and mass deportations. He can't handle it. I, of course, question him on this. I say not even close to what? A Trump surrender? That's exactly what this is. It's outrageous, too. And so all of that is to say, you know, what's another one here? GWF Bagel 3811 leaves a comment under this at the time too and says instant reactions to surface appearances are usually wrong. He's saying I'm wrong. Oh, it's way too early to really provide that analysis. Don't you think, American advocates? What Trump said about Greenland was preposterous, like no one would take it seriously. He's talking about Greenland here, and then he says Trump's current ICE move is about budget, the budget coming up to soften enough Dems to avoid a shutdown over ICE funding. Well, guess what wound up happening there, GWF Bagel? We got the partial government shutdown that wound up only ending just a few weeks ago after being shut down for a record length of time because the Republican Party is so fucking cucked beyond belief that they let a minority Democrat party hijack everything. The Senate won't nuke the filibuster, and so this government was in a partial shutdown because Republicans decided rather than to take control and push forward everything like the American people voted for them to do, they decided they should compromise instead and make a deal with Democrats. Please reopen most of the government and we'll allow you to shut down the Department of Homeland Security and not fund it. And that's exactly what the Democrats agreed to. This is how pathetic and weak this Republican Party is. And that's why on this channel I constantly advocate that we just stop voting for this kind of pathetic weakness. If there's one thing I despise more than anything, even more than perhaps even betrayal, it's weakness. There's nothing worse than when the good guys are so incredibly weak that you watch them be nothing but ineffective, and ultimately you watch them turn into complete traitors to their own cause, betraying all of their constituents and just sitting around in their little cuck chairs in Congress getting nothing done. So again, Trump's current ICE move is about the budget coming up, they said. They can't believe that I was saying that Trump was surrendering and that mass deportations were coming to an end all the way back in January. He says Trump and Homan are not going to reduce deportations for midterms. This is how delusional some conservative MAGA cultists are. In addition to that, I had another one, Prem P990. I would have to unsubscribe to you now, dude. I cannot support such stances as they completely go against my religion and morality. Bear in mind, I'm a social and fiscal conservative, born-again Christian American nationalist. Okay? Like, what the fuck is he talking about here? So, all of this is to say, Many people, they just didn't want to acknowledge reality when it came to Trump and deportations. They wanted to say, oh no, certainly he's not surrendering to Tim Walz up in Minnesota, who's a governor very likely guilty of tons of fraud with the Somalians. Oh no, Trump's going to keep going with the deportations. It's what he promised. He's just trying to keep it hush-hush for midterms pressure's sake, but secretly he's going to keep it going. People literally were convinced of this. Greg Bovino gets pulled out of Minnesota, sent to his home in Los Angeles, I believe, California, and is now essentially forced into retirement. Perhaps one of their most effective Border Patrol agents out there, the commander at large of all of this, pulled out of the state and done away with. The reporting that I did at the time, a couple months after I made this analysis, the reports come out that behind the scenes, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, is going around telling everyone within the administration, stop using the term mass deportations. We can't use that term anymore. It's not popular enough, and it's going to cause us to lose the midterms. I've just been nothing but vindicated and just completely right every step of the way because I am intellectually superior, which is why you should subscribe right now. It doesn't get any smarter than me. It doesn't get any more accurate than me. You are here to learn. And more importantly, I know many of you are so fucking stupid that you must have even dumber friends, which is why you should share this channel with your even dumber friends and help them out. Because if you're as dumb as you are, then very likely your friends are even dumber. The rising tide will raise all boats. You're the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. So share this with your peanut-headed father, share this with your idiotic bimbo mother, share this with your siblings, and share this with your friends. It's important. People need to hear the truth. More so, I'm even more vindicated, by the way, and the reason why I'm bringing all of this up, Trump's popularity, his approval with immigration declining, tanking, as people realize this administration's not serious about mass deportations, and they never were. But more so, I'm even more vindicated. Not only did I just play that clip from January 27th of me saying that before you heard it anywhere else, by the way. Anywhere else. All you heard everywhere else at the time from MAGA copium channels were Trump's playing 5D chess so that the Democrats can't shut down the government. They shut it down anyway. And so that the Republicans can win the midterms. The Republicans are going to get annihilated in the midterms this year. You heard it here first. But also, I wanted to use this to literally go right into one of the stories for today. Before we get to the top story, which is the Iran war again, of course, because it's Trump's biggest fuck up and blunder. It's ruining the global economy. It's ruining our U.S. economy now. It's ruining the GOP as a whole, which is ironic since they wanted to stop mass deportations because of the political poison element to it for midterms, but they'll go right ahead and serve Israel's interest in the Middle East. Isn't that fucking funny? But since this, has Trump ramped up the deportations? No. And the breaking news coming in that I saw today is that Alligator Alcatraz is now closing for good. It's done. And here are some of the most depressing stats about that. My moderator lifeguard's going to love this. He's going to love this. Is like he loves this horrendous news. It makes his night every single night. Here are some of the depressing stats about Alligator Alcatraz, which barely managed to basically exist and operate for 1 year before now being closed down for good. After spending, by the way, $1 billion American taxpayer dollars on the construction of it, it was constructed over the course of 8 days last July and constructed using emergency powers from Governor Ron DeSantis in order to accomplish it in such a quick time frame and bypassing Florida state legislator and everything else that they would have needed to go through, the hoops they would have had to jump through to construct it. $1 billion spent, and during the entire duration of its existence, it only wound up housing a total of 1,400 temporarily detained illegal aliens. So $1 billion to create it. Didn't even last 1 year, 1 full year, because I believe it was constructed last July. And it only wound up housing a total of 1,400 illegal aliens, temporary detainees. What's the math there? Well, $1 billion for its construction means that we essentially spent, as Americans, $714,000 fucking dollars and $285,000 per occupant. How's that for mass deportations? How's that for Trump is going to deport all of them? How's that for immigration policy reform? Alligator Alcatraz is no more.